Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we're on board possibly the best 40-foot Sunseeker ever made, the Sunseeker Portofino 40. We're down here in beautiful Mallorca. It's October, the sun's out, and this is a beautiful example of that 40 Portofino. She's got the walnut interior, the larger engine option. So join me in this video for a full tour. Let's go. I'm sure you'd agree from that first bit of video you've seen, this boat looks absolutely fabulous down here in the sunshine. But as well as looking fabulous, this boat does also offer a good level of practicality. Now, we know these 40 Portofinos are always super popular on the brokerage market. Lots of reasons for that, and we'll start walking through some of them. Up on the bow here, we've got this really nice size sun pad. This has got the upgrade to the tilting backrest, though not all of them have got these. So here you've got the tilting backrest on all three cushions. So again, that's a great place to sit, enjoy the sunshine here, autumnal sunshine. I'd like to just point out on this particular boat, everything's in really nice condition. I had a sneak peek at the earlier photos of this boat before we actually came out to Mallorca, and my first impression was from those photos that the boat showed very well, and I haven't been disappointed. You know, bearing in mind she's a 2014 boat, she really does look the part. If I walk slightly further forward on the foredeck, you can see here we've dropped the anchor. We've got stainless steel chain on this boat, which is rather nice. So we're in a couple of meters of water here, and I can actually see that stainless steel chain glistening down into the depths, which is quite nice. Underneath here, we've got the anchor locker. You can see the rest of that stainless chain in there, and a bit of fender storage in there if you wanted to, but a nice setup. And if you're going to be keeping the boat out in the Med, then of course anchoring is something you're going to be doing a lot of. Safe up here as well, we've got nice high pulpits rails all the way around. So you've got the guard wire in the centre, giving it that extra bit of security. But the guard rail, even walking forward here, if I'm monitoring where the anchor's coming, I can easily still hold on to that rail. Really nice sized cleats as well. So especially with Med mooring, we know those mooring lines can sometimes be a bit more chunky, and actually to have those decent sized cleats is very nice. If I just get Nathan now on the camera just to pan round, this is one of the first boats we did, probably the first boat Sunseeker did, with the single piece windscreen. So you can see on here we've got a huge single piece windscreen. We've got the electric opening roof on the 40 as well. Now this is a canvas roof, but being a canvas roof means that it goes much further back and you get a much bigger aperture. So on a day like today, you can let all that beautiful fresh air and sun into the cockpit, but equally if you want to get some shade, then it's quite easy. That click of a button, this whole roof section here slides down and covers over that cockpit. So much easier for shade, or so much easier at the end of the day just to close that boat up. And we know that's one of the reasons that people love these 40s, is just ease of use. But look, as I said a minute ago, condition wise, even the track here, we know as brokers where you get to see the dirt and grime. This is all really clean, and this boat has been owned in the current family ownership for the last 3 seasons, and they've had a designated concierge service on the boat since their ownership. And I have to say, whoever's done it has done a cracking job. And I'm sure if you wanted to keep that going in Mallorca, and certainly in Pollenca, Porto Pollenca, then you could potentially carry on with that service. Side decks walking aft, yes, they do squeeze in a bit here. But you have got this rail here, so even, you know, I feel quite safe. I've got the rail there, and I can just cop in through here, down a couple of steps, and if I come back round, I'm now in the cockpit. So I'll give Nathan time to come down those side decks, and I'll carry on talking. Before we jump into that cockpit, let's just go and have a look at the platform. Now, in today's video, we are not allowed to fly the drone. So if you're wondering why we haven't got the drone, it's because we're in a restricted zone. So as a result, we can't fly the drone here today. So we did the initial intro video using the boat's tender. The owner's son has popped off for a minute on the tender just to have a little pot around. But it goes to show you that you could have a tender on this platform. Now, this particular boat doesn't have the hydraulic platform. However, we did have a small soft bottom Zodiac on here with an electric outboard, perfect for use on this type of boat, easy to get on and off, and that platform that I'm stood on works really well for that. Nice big ensign staff here, and then we've got the sun pad arrangement on the back. If you wanted to have the full length sun pad, then the rear backrest tilts forward. I'll show you that in a second. But you can see this is a really nice place to board the boat from, to keep your tender, to just sit on and relax, enjoy the water. You do have access from the platform from both sides, both port and starboard, if you want to. Predominantly, most people use the port side swim ladder. We've got a freshwater shower here located on the aft there, and a freshwater fill-in as well. Here, we've got the battery isolator switches. The clients are down below, just keeping out of the way a minute, and we just started a Jenny. So you might just hear a Jenny, but it's running nicely, not very noisy at all. And once you're into the cockpit, you've got a really nice arrangement. A couple of cup holders here. Great big cooler box in here. I mean, just grab the camera, Nathan. I mean, give you an idea of perspective. We've got some 2-litre bottles of water in there, and that you can see it's working well. It's okay, iced up. But that's a huge cooler box in there, really nice. Probably more practical than a fridge, really. Lift up lid here to the wet bar. So we've got a hot and cold corner sink, and then we've got that electric griddle. Now, of course, with that generator, you can use that electric griddle even at anchor. So you could be out today, cook up some lunch, bit of fish, some burgers, sausages, whatever you might want to do. Underneath here, we've got a storage cupboard with all the usual boat paraphernalia, wash downs, sun creams, that type of thing. Underneath me here, you'll see there's a split in the teak flooring. Now that is to access the engine hatch. We'll look at that even shortly or when we get back on the berth. But what I'll perhaps do is get Nathan just to cut to some video of that whilst to keep talking. Now, once that engine hatch is up, you've got really great access on top of those engines, as you can see. And in typical Sunseeker fashion, the engineering within the engine room space works really well. It's all nicely installed, and it gives you that confidence that it's all very easy to see, and there's some level of storage down there as well. I don't think I gave that engine room justice in that bit of video, so just having another quick look in here, you can see these are actually D6 400s. We've got the Jenny whistling away, that's what's underneath my feet there, but you can see they're both looking really tidy. We've also got the fuel tanks in here, the hot water system, and then we've got batteries over there on the port side. Generator is I should know this before I've looked on there, the make and model, but I can't quite reach down there, but it's not obtrusive, and I'm looking forward to going back down into the cabin and jumping inside the AC, so a very nice engine room indeed. Back into the cockpit, we've got these soft panels on the ceiling here. You've got LED lights in those recessed, which of course at night time works really well. There are also some low level lights you'll spot down there in the cockpit. Folding table. You will note this teak has been treated, so it's got some form of treatment on there. I'm not sure if that's teak wonder or Semco, but actually it works really well on there, and it's kept that table in really nice condition. Behind the table, you've got this wraparound seating group section. Again, all this upholstery is in really nice condition. It's definitely the original. There's a small mark in the rear sun pad where the passerelle comes on board, but it's something that could easily be dealt with. But just looking there again, look how neat and tidy that is, Nathan. How many boats do we lift a locker and have to reshoot because we don't know what we're going to find? It's not normally like that. So you've got some storage in there, which is nice. Really decent cushions as well, like deep foam pads, which is nice. Portside co-pilot seat, so slight step up there, and that's to gain extra headroom into the aft cabin, but a nice comfortable seat to be on if you're co-pilot, your crew on board. And then behind me here, we've of course got that lovely Helm arrangement. I mentioned earlier on we've got that single piece windscreen, and that lets so much natural light back into here. You'll see you've got those two glass sections underneath the windscreen, and we'll look at those in a minute when we go in the cabin, but they let lots of natural light back down into that space. What I really like about the Portofino 40 Helm, it's not too high. So when I'm at the helm, I can see over. If I'm sat down, stood up, I can easily see over the top of the helm console to easily look forward. Just the ignitions are still on at the moment. Engine hours, point of field, time of filming, we've got 418 on the port and 418 on the starboard. Carbon fibre inlaid back panels. And look at the condition of this paint, Nathan. Look, it's lovely. It's not marked, it's not scratched. It's such nice condition. We've got the Simrad autopilot system on board this boat as well. So we've got the twin Simrad screens. We've got the Simrad autopilot controller there. The bow thruster, which is just below the upgraded zip wake. Now that's been retrofitted in the last few years. Really nice upgrade to have on board there. And then this boat does also have the Aquamatic joystick. So you see here we've got the engine controls, but down here we've got joystick. So the joystick combined with the bow thruster really does give you fantastic manoeuvrability. So if you're a bit unsure about manoeuvring a boat of this size, then having that joystick really works well. Equally, if you're lightly crewed, or even dare I say single-handed, by having that joystick it really does give you that bit more confidence. VHF is tucked down here by my right leg there, and you can see here there's a couple of different teak rates. So depending on your height, you can either be really high, slightly lower on the floor, or mid-range. So again, that just gives you that bit of flexibility. But all in all, this is a cracking helm. Great view from that both port and starboard windscreens, and you can tell, I think, I like this boat, and I can see why they always sail well, because they're just so unique. You know, they're modern, they're fresh, they've got lots of nice new equipment on them. There's nothing else like this in the market, there really isn't. And on that note, I will take you into the cabin. So we're going to do a switch over of crew on board and me filming. So we'll have a break here, perhaps cut to a bit of video, Nathan, shall we, of how nice this boat looks, and then we'll dive down into the cabin. So keep watching, and what a great time to subscribe to the channel. Hit that button, give me a thumbs up, and let me know what you think to this video. As I mentioned, we're now down in the air-conditioned saloon cabin space of this boat. Behind me here, we've got the galley, so everything you'd expect. We've got twin burner hob, we've got a hot and cold sink. Lovely porthole. I mean, I've tried to take a couple of photos actually, but look at the view. Okay, yeah, you've got to bend down a bit to see it, but what a stonking view. Still got the opening porthole there, so if you do want to get a bit of fresh air in here, you can. You've got a lift up lid, lifts and slides for the microwave, and then you've got some storage along here as well. So yeah, a practical galley. Of course, it's not the biggest, but it works quite well. You've got cutlery drawer, you've still got some of the Sunseeker original crockery in there, cutlery in there as well. I think I mentioned earlier on in the video that it's just a walnut satin, so most of these have had a much lighter finish wood, and still very nice, but I think the walnut has probably aged slightly better than that, and I have to say this walnut satin looks really, really nice. The interiors of these boats were designed by the famous super yacht designer Ken Freevlock, and that's where a lot of the attention to detail on these 40s came in from, and that's why you see the San Remo 485s being similar. But you've got wood floor all the way through, again, looks like a walnut floor. Really nice condition. Of course, there are, you know, the boat's been used, but it is in superb condition. It really is. You've got the leather seating behind you, so it's a cream leather behind you. You can, if you want to, lower that table to make another bed. If I just move, of course, the Balearic Island pilotage book, essential when you're out here. Good table coffee table stuff. Here we've got that walnut table, and you can see that would have been the original colour, and it's hardly changed. It really hasn't. You've got this detailing here on the table. Again, part of that Ken Freevlock design. Sorry, I think a boat's just gone by us. We seem to have become a bit of rocking around a bit there. But the nice thing with this wooden floor is it just makes it really practical. So if you're using this boat in the sunshine, you come down below, then you know you haven't got to worry about the carpet. I mentioned earlier on, you've got these glass sections underneath the windscreen, and these let so much natural light into this space. I think we might have to wait for that wash to go by, Nate, because everyone's going to get a bit seasick watching that, aren't they? But hopefully it won't take long. It's calming down. It's mirror calm up there, so somebody has obviously gone by us. So as I mentioned, convert this into a bed if you want to. We've got floating steps. We've got two cabins down here. We've got the forward cabin, master cabin up here. So just come in here with me. In fact, I don't know if I take the camera, Nathan, or you hold it, but really nice sized cabin. Walnut carries all the way into here. You've got those stainless steel inlays in the doors. Again, a nice design detail. You've got these blinds here, which reveal these lovely windows looking out to the water. And as of, apparently the gentleman who's maintained the outside of the boat, his wife has also maintained the interiors, hence why I believe the cabin's all beautifully dressed like this. You've got storage in these top locker boxes, and then you've got a couple of little vanity boxes either side then of the bed itself. This is an ensuite cabin, so there's one heads on board. So if I just go this way, this is the head, so this is also the day heads in here, but it works really well as an ensuite to the master cabin. So everything you'd expect from a Sunseeker of this era, really nice quality electric flush loos, surface mounted sinks, and a nice separate shower enclosure, glass enclosure there, so very usable. And then if I open this door like magic, in fact I'll have to shut the master cabin door, Nathan, if I go like so, and then out of this one, so if I don't scratch the doors. You can see now I'm back in the saloon, so that's how that door arrangement works. Before I go into the aft cabin, let me just show you what we've got here. So I think one of the points, if I just grab that from Nathan, I think one of the things I like to talk about on Sunseekers is just how well everything is laid out. So you can see here we've got the boat's control panel, so we've got all these rocker switches up here. We've got AIS, you can see some things have been updated. I imagine the AIS has been updated. You can see here we've got the 12 volt and then we've got the 230 volt down here, so they're all in green. And this was one of the first boats where we saw a digital management control system come in. So you can see here we've got the generator start-stop, and I can flick through the pages. And this is nice to see this all working really nicely. Control my bilge pumps from here as well. See my fresh water tank level and my the black tank. But yeah, one of the first boats we saw with this arrangement, and it works well. Nice to see it. Underneath here we've got a bit of storage. So the glassware, and then we've got the boat's AV kit there. She does have the Bose surround sound system here in the saloon. You can make out the speakers up there in the ceiling. So if you wanted to dive down here and watch a film, you could. Here in the aft cabin, these are actually on sliders, these beds. So you've got two really nice sized single berths there, and they can actually be slid together to create a double. So you can see the tracking on the floor there. As with that forward cabin, beautifully dressed, nice fresh linens. There is a couple of 40s you may have seen online. This is a paddleboard or a mat here, I think a swim mat. There is actually a couple of 40s where they put this very small mattress on top of that cabinetry there. So to make it into sort of a half cabin. And then you can see there you've got a wardrobe which is all lit. Nice AC coming out of these sort of hidden ducts there in that walnut. I have to say it's quite nice being down here in the cool for a minute. So yeah, all in all, a very, very nice arrangement. What I'll do now is I will venture back up into that sunshine and we'll sign this video off up there. So what a great place to sign this video off, up here on the foredeck where we started the video on that lovely sun pad. I have to remind you here, it's October, it's warm. I'm sat on the bow of this Portofino 40 in this beautiful surrounding. This could be you. This boat is actively for sale. She's a great example. Let's look at what the stats are. She's got the walnut interior. She's got the dark colour hull. She's got those D6 400s, which you don't see these boats with those 400s in. It's fantastic. Joystick driving, AC, generator, so much kit on board. And above all of that, she's in beautiful condition. So if you're interested in a Portofino 40, this has to be the one to buy. The details for which will be in the description below. And you'll have seen the details flash up on the screen. So you know what to do. Pick up the phone, drop us an email, and we'd love to hear from you more about this particular boat. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe to this YouTube channel. We'd love to show you more videos. Give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.